Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And welcome to another. I know, because you know what, the week is almost over. So welcome to another edition of Let It Be Known. And of course, I am your host, Stacey Brown.
Yeah, peace and love and happy holidays, everybody. I'm Neil Anderson, and we're going to dive into lots of headlines that are going back and forth across the news cycle between yesterday and this morning, and we have them all for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have a special guest this morning, too. So we look forward to that as well. We start with our producer, though, and see what she got for us.
People who have this misplaced faith in white men's electability. And it's really, really irrational to me. And what it says to me is that people feel more comfortable losing with white men than potentially winning with Black women.
Right.
And that's Black people as well. And that's Black women as well. Because when I say Black people, like you just talking about Black men. No, I'm talking about Black women too. Because there are a lot of Black women. Oh, it takes the white man to be the white man. Oh, well, I love Jasmine. I love Jasmine. But, you know, they ain't go. Who was they? Who was they? I thought we had the numbers. Or did I miss the math? Y'all be so scared of that. Oh, my God. Who the fuck is they? They ain't go. Get your ass up and make some shit happen. Don't talk about what they ain't gonna do. Make some shit happen. Talk to your motherfucking cousins. Talk to your nieces and nephews. Do that instead of saying with the white man. White people have consistently voted at the same turnout and the same percentages. White folks voting is the given in the equation. The delta is what we do. Okay? Yeah. Our turnout margins are relatively stable. So why would you sit up there and focus on the given in the equation that's going to do what it don't matter if you put Bubba the fucking fool up. They're going to vote the same way Democrat, the same way Republican, within a percentage point. And they're going to vote.
We know their numbers.
We know their numbers. So that's the known in the equation. And y'all do everything for the same known in the equation that is basically invariable. I'm talking math here. I'm not talking feelings. I'm talking about the math. I'm a math girl. So that's not a good strategy. When all of these variables over here that we can solve for, that we can activate, mind you, the Republicans relentlessly invest not in conversion, in dissuading. Millions, tens of millions of Black people are marked in a fucking database as dissuasion voters. They just gonna, oh, well, Jasmine can't do the and they gonna have people repost their bullshit, and then y'all motherfuckers don't vote. So I'm not trying to say that nobody could vote for James Tallarico. I'm going to question why, I'm waiting for something that doesn't sound like this is our great white hope candidate. You have people who.
Let me tell you something. Reese posted something recently, and I can't remember her wording. It was about her language. and folks talk about her language, I'm sure, a lot. But that's how she communicates. We love Reese regardless.
We want to say congratulations to Reese, as she is now the first lady of what is it called? Upper Marlboro's, which is in Maryland. Her husband was elected the first Black mayor, Charles Colbert. So she is now a first lady. And we were all sending her congratulations, and she responded to all of us, and she said that she's just gonna be a cussing first lady. So
yeah. That's it.
Cussing first lady.
Oh, she knows no other way.
But I'm gonna have to push back a little bit. I think that the state that this country is in, we just have to go for what this America wants, and they're just not ready. I'm with Michelle Obama. They're not ready for a Black woman to be president, a woman period to be president. I have to lean towards Michelle Obama, and even Kamala Harris she's on the same concept of Reese that we are. With Michelle Obama, I don't think we're ready.
Yeah. I listen, Shonda, I agree with you. I am not one to tell Reese how to convey her messages. Like I said, love her. But I'm with you on that. I know Reese is an extremely intelligent individual who can get a point across without the cussing. I agree with that 100%. But I'm not Reese, and it works for her, and whatever works is what she.
But I think it's also reading the room and understanding social media, knowing what is going to get you to go viral, to get your point across. So she's doing it with her clothes on. You know, most people get clicks by having the least amount of clothes on.
Oh boy,
she is fully dressed, highly intelligent.
You see her and her husband? They look good together.
Right, but she's highly intelligent and she uses her words to convey her messages, and that's what social media wants. So I think she's just trying to be, not trying to be, but she is relevant in the social capacity that we're living in right now. And so sometimes you have to use a cuss word here and there.
Let me tell you something. I can't think, and you can look at CNN, CBS, NBC, ABC, anywhere. I can't think of a better political commentator, political analyst than Reese Colbert. So that's my feeling on it.
Yeah, but to her point that she was talking about, I think that is highly debatable about
that part,
about America being ready for a female president. And if we're not ready for a white woman, America's definitely not ready for a black woman. I mean, and it's just, those are what you call hard truths.
Yeah, and I think it's a certain faction too, but you know, I get what you're saying too, because I've said, well, I don't know if this is exactly what you're saying, but in this moment, unfortunately, it seems like if y'all want to beat Donald Trump, it's going to take a white man to do it. Unfortunately, not because of qualifications, because I think Wes Moore is extremely qualified. So, but this is you got to take into the account the racism, the rampant racism. So, how I feel about it. Speaking of, the Trump administration is proposing to ask visitors from talk about dictatorship, right? They want visitors from several dozen nations that enjoy visa-free travel to the U.S. to submit additional personal information before entering the country, including 5 years of their social media history. So they want to vet their social media to make sure that they haven't disparaged the White House and chief guy over there at any point in their social media history.
For sure.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is. It is like just what we're living under. And you know, it's like, what are we going to do about it? I mean, the slap in the face, I think I talked about this story yesterday. I'm not sure, but you know, the slap in the face to where these people go, just the whole immigration policy yesterday, talking about how they are going to these ceremonies and they are being denied the day of, right? And so now you're looking at the travel situation where they're coming over here, and now you got to show your social media. This is really, it actually is a story that I have in today's show. It's going to impact the Olympics. It's going to impact the World Cup. And so don't be surprised if you see some of these major world events that are supposed to be in the United States that people are not going to turn up, and they might even move the World Cup if this really goes down, because it's going to impact a lot of the players.
Yeah, and that would be unfortunate for California. It would be unfortunate for the country if they have to, if they strip the U.S. of the World Cup. And you know, Donald Trump doesn't care.
Yeah. The story I had is if Trump gets his way, the Olympics and the World Cup could be in trouble for the tourists and the athletes, as his administration proposes this 5-year ban. So it is going to, that's really what, you know, a lot of corporations and some of his friends are paying attention to, because this is going to impact their bottom line and their bottom dollar.
And as bad as the economy is, and it's among the worst that we've seen in recent history, it's get worse because of his policies, that the Olympics, the World Cup will only boost the economy. It's an easy boost. And Nancy Wall said he wants to hurt Gavin Newsom in California. No, it's that proverbial cutting off your nose to spite your face. because it hurts everybody. It doesn't. Yes, California's. They will not, if they move it, they won't reap the benefits, right? But nobody else will either, because the travel to the airlines, the
it's
buses, the
not about,
trains, the hotels.
yeah, I don't think it's about California, because the Olympics are supposed to be in the United States. So even if they moved it to another state, this band is national. So it doesn't even, it's beyond California. It's about him, this band that's going to impact these two. They can move them to any place in the United States. It's still going to impact that state.
Oh, I don't think they would move it to another state in the U.S. If the Olympic Committee says we're pulling it from the U.S., they're pulling it from the U.S.
No, I'm talking about like California, Nancy in California. It's hurting the nation, at large, because any place because the World Cup is supposed to be, I think, in a few states, right? Not just California, or no, it's supposed to be in Canada as well, and other.
Right.
It's not going to fare well with all of these sponsors. He just had the World Cup chairperson at the Kennedy Center, and they were singing YMCA. Okay, he had the village people there, and they had this big fanfare about the World Cup coming to the United States. And here he is. It's impacting the players. It's not just the tourists that are coming, but the players may be on that ban, because if they have posted a thing about Donald Trump and his administration, they're going to be denied.
Right. Yeah. Shonda says that Houston is host part of the FIFA in 2026. Governor Hot Wheels Abbott is in Trump's pocket. It will hurt host cities. Yeah. And Orangey says the ticket prices are already outrageous. Of course they are. Also in the news, Democratic Rep Haley Stevens, who is running for an open Senate seat, formally introduced an article of impeachment yesterday against Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Of course, it has zero chance of advancing through the Republican-controlled House, but she has vowed to do so, and she argues that his actions and public remarks had jeopardized public health, increased the cost of healthcare, and cut important medical research programs. So you can expect this, but this is the other thing. When you talk about the midterms, Niele, this is one of the things that has some Republicans kind of shaking a little bit, because if the Democrats do take control of the House and the Senate, there is this possibility, though I will say that I doubt the Democrats have the guts to follow through on any of this, but they can prove us wrong. But as where they stand right now, there's not enough Jasmine Crockett's that will say, see it through. But this is what kind of puts a little fear in the GOP.
Yeah, it will put the fear in them if Democrats have the vote. I don't think they're as afraid today as they will be after the midterms. If what happens and what Democrats believe they can pull off, then this will be more impactful. But I'm always a believer of a record. So at least you know the comfortability of them thinking just because you don't have the numbers that nothing's going to happen. No, file them. File the articles of it. File them. Do it.
Yeah. One of the things that you keep in mind with the Kennedy, apparently, allegedly, there is. I have to use the word allegedly, though documentaries say otherwise. There's mental illness in that family. And he exhibits what?
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the Trump administration with mental problems. His whole cabinet. They all look crazy, deranged, as Barton Lawrence would say.
Crazy, deranged. Wow. Okay. And other news this morning, going to the NFL, Colin Kaepernick. He says he does not in any way regret his activism in the NFL in 2016. Of course, his impact was felt beyond the football field when he decided to take a knee during the national anthem, which is played, of course, at the beginning of every game. Since making this small yet powerful act signed by an NFL team, although he still hopes to return to the NFL one day, the former 49er star has made big time strides in the social justice space through various community-driven initiatives. And now he's using his platform to help kids in Maryland become future community leaders. He's partnered with Lumai and Prince George's County Public Schools, and they launched an artificial intelligence-fueled pilot program designed to make reading and writing more engaging with its AI characters. So Colin Kaepernick continues to do stuff to help others, putting himself below others. He's doing the work.
Right. His organization do a lot of advocacy work. They pay for a lot of funerals when there's injustice happening. Unfortunately, Black people are being hanged. He'll pay for an autopsy for it. So he definitely is doing the work. And the way the NFL did him was horrible. And even when you look at Shador Sanders and the way that he's treated, it's just a Black men are treated. They pay them very well, but they still remind you that you're their property. And it's reminiscent of masters and slaves, right? We give you all this money, but at the end of the day, we still got that thing on your neck. And no, you only can do so much. And so I'm so glad that he trolls them, and he always says, "I'm ready to hit the field when you guys are ready." Because at the end, Kaepernick came back to the NFL. Whether you love him or hate him, he would definitely bring the ratings.
Well, yeah, without question. There's no question about that. Whether or not he can still perform after missing all these years is another story. But you're right. The attention, the money that they would make immediately, but it shows you too that, again, I always say hate can't see the forest for the trees, and that type of hate that they have for this man for doing something that they totally took out of proportion. He was never protesting their flag. What he was saying, go ahead.
No, I was just saying he actually consulted with the military. He consulted with professionals about even the way that he approached that kneeling situation. So he was very respectful in all. But what he was telling white folks is to be respectful of what Black folks are going through. And I can't kneel I can't stand for something when all of this injustice is happening. And I think that it was very symbolic in what he did. And I hate that he lost his job for it, but I think he understood too, it was bigger than throwing a football.
Yeah. Patricia Jackson said it's called pivot. Don't let them finish your story. And yes, Orangey, as Neil did mention, he has this great program called Know Your Rights. Exactly. So Colin Kaepernick continues to be at the forefront of social justice, and big ups to him. Here is one trending topic a couple of months ago. It just started, for some reason, it came up again, and it's been trending the last couple of days and may have gone unnoticed. This 20-year-old Black woman, she won the scratch-off lottery in Canada for $1 million, but she decided she wasn't going to take the $1 million lump sum. Instead, she chose $1,000 a week for life. Was it a smart move, folks, or was that a missed opportunity? Her name is Brenda, and she made the surprising decision of doing the $1,000 every week for life. Now, the way she figures it is that she'll get the million, of course. She could take the million, but if she did $1,000 per week, it equals $52,000 a year, of course. But over 30 years, that becomes $1.5 million. So if she lives 50 plus years and she's 20, so say if she lives to 70, she could receive more than $2.5 million in total. Of course, others argue that front could have been the stronger financial choice. She could invest it, et cetera, et cetera. What do y'all think? What do you think? Yeah.
I think the choice is hers. It's her money. And, she might like her career. She might like what she's doing. And that extra $1,000 a week could go a long way. So only people know their pocketbooks. And I feel like, she made the right choice. She's going to come out with more money in the long run. So she's playing the long game. And apparently she likes what she's doing, and she is enjoying her career. And
Right.
so congratulations, sis.
See, my problem, and I don't gamble. I don't play the lottery at all. But my problem is this: I wouldn't trust them to pay me $1,000 a week for the next 50 years. I think I'd just take the $1 million. I would. That would be the big reason I'd take the money, the lump sum, because I wouldn't try to pay it out. And plus, what if I died tomorrow? Are they gonna still pay it? So. I don't know. It's Michelle Madison said it was a smart move, and she's asking the question that I guess I'm posing now. Really, can it be transferred upon her death?
And there are a lot of horrific stories about lottery winners. You know, they get that money, one lump sum, and they be broke in 3 years.
That's
so
the other
if
thing.
you do the, she might have did some research and was like, mm-mm. And then you have all of your family members that you have to think about when they know that you've won this money, they gonna want something. But if you're only getting $1,000 a week, it's like, I don't know if I can help you. I didn't get the lump sum. So,
there's the other part of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not mad at her. It's her choice. Either way, she's getting money. She won the lottery and she's going to reap the benefits from it.
The benefits, Black folks and financial literacy, Mike V said. So Mike V, what would be your solution? What would you do, Mike? Would you take the $1 million up front, the lump sum, or would you do what this young lady has done? That's interesting. Michelle Madison agrees with you, Niel. Good.
No, I didn't have. No, I mean, I've said my piece. I look at it both ways. You could do the lump sum, but I'm not mad at her. She's young.
She's 20 years
very
old.
Young. Yeah, she's 20 years old. She has her whole life ahead of her. Her career is in front of her. If she wants, so I'm not mad at her. I'm not.
Yeah, listen, like you said, she made a decision that she's comfortable with. And like I said, I couldn't trust these folks to honor that commitment all those years, even if nothing happened to me. Right. State goes broke, the country's in a recession. Mm-hmm. I don't trust it. Can't trust it is what I say. Can't trust it.
Well, I mean, I think the variable too for you is age. She's young. So for you, like, age plays the factor. The older you are, you might be like, just cash me out. But she's young, so she's like, I just just keep cashing me out every week.
Yeah.
And like Dr. Marilyn said, you can't go wrong either way.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I found it to be an interesting debate because social media had a lot to say, and it's like us right now. They social media was like, you had 100 people saying, "Oh, I'd take the money," then you had 50 people saying, "No, I'd do what she did." So
yeah, for sure.
It depends on your situation. So
100%. Well, while we're waiting for our guests, let's jump into this next story. The Heritage Foundation has unveiled Project 2026, y'all. So their four cornerstones are the American family, the dignity of work and the future of free enterprise, national security, and the American heritage and citizenship, which are all things that we see are playing out right now, right? Now, analysts and advocates on all sides are watching closely as the plans and implementation dramatically affect civil service staffing, which we see, agency independence, and key government programs, policies that will impact millions of American people. So, we thought that, Project 2025 was it? No, they are doubling down now. And we see what's happening with the Department of Education. We see what's happening with our immigration policies. We see what's happening with our federal workers, which highly impacts Black people. And so be paying attention, and we should definitely be pushing Democrats to try to figure out what is our project.
Right.
What is our response?
What's the response? Because there's been no response to 2025, right?
Right. So, this is very disturbing. But they've also seen that this year they were able to push so many things through with Project 2025 and so on us.
2.0. Wow. All right, folks. In an America shaped once again by racial hostility and the rollback of diversity protections under the Trump administration, renowned civil rights attorney Ben Crump continues to force institutions to confront the value of Black life. Joining us this morning is the one and only attorney Benjamin Crump. Our, what do we say? Black America's Attorney General is what we have here.
Hey, thank you so much, Stacey. Miss Anderson, I'm so very honored to join you all this morning. And you're right, I was listening to the commentary. It is 2.0, as I've said often, Stacey. They are coming for all of us.
Yeah.
And, you know, at this point, there are no safe neutrals. It does not matter how many college degrees you have, how many job titles. They think all of us are DEI, and they don't mean that in a good way. You see, they just fired all the Black people from AT&T. I mean, it is something that Black people, now more than ever, we have to unite, and we have to be more strategic, more resourceful, and more courageous. That is the only thing that will save us.
Yeah, and before we get into your latest victory for another Black family who was wronged by this system, let me ask you, you mentioned coming together. Are you seeing signs at all that we as a people are coming together?
Yeah, and on some levels, I am very proud of We Ain't Gonna Buy It campaign, where they refuse to support Target and Home Depot and others. But there's so much more we have to do, Stacey. I think we have to be dogmatic and trying to support all of our Black institutions, Black businesses, Black media, Black, education, HBCUs, because we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional about it. We have to meet monthly, and we have to hold each other to account. I'm doing that with myself. Am I spending 50% of my money with Black business prizes and so forth? And we all have to sit at the lunch table and ask ourselves, well, did you spend any of your money with Black people? I mean, 17 days is how long they said our Jewish sisters and brothers keep their dollars in their community. Asians keep it in 21 days in their community. And they say, Black people, we keep our dollar in our community 17 minutes.
That's it.
Wow.
Shameful God. And so we can save ourselves if we just kept spending money with us. Black lawyers, Black doctors, Black mechanics, Black insurance agents, Black restaurants, Black dry cleaners, Black everything. You go find a Black business to support, Black trainers at gyms. I mean, just things that we can support our own on.
Yeah. It's called Recycling Black Dollars. There's an organization here in LA called Recycling Black Dollars, and they talk a lot about what you're talking about is how every other ethnicity recycles their dollars except us. At a high capacity. I know Stacey wants to get into the headline that you're into right now, but I want to ask you about yesterday, the Breonna Taylor, Justice for Breonna Taylor Act was reintroduced. It's something that we rarely see, a bipartisan effort to push a bill through. But it makes me think about the Justice for George Floyd Act and how you were at the front line. We saw you at the White House. We saw you in the halls of Congress pushing it. Seeing what's happening with this Breonna Taylor law being reintroduced, what are your thoughts, or do you have any plans of, trying to push the Justice for George Floyd bill through?
Ms. Anderson, we have to keep being proactive. We have to continue to have perseverance. I think so much of America right now is at a political stalemate. And, it would be easy to say that, nothing is ever going to get done. Where if you accept that defeatist mentality, that's exactly what will happen. So we have to continue to do everything in our power. It's like when I talk to lawyers against this regime, Ms. Anderson and Stacey, I tell them, It doesn't matter that they control the House and the Senate and the executive branch and the Supreme Court. We just got to keep filing lawsuits because that's at least going to help slow them down. And we're documenting. All our lawsuits should be written as if they're going to be historical chronicles. And so with this defiance of what they're trying to do to be a miscarriage of justice for our little sister Breonna, and certainly with George Floyd, we have to continue to document the history, and that's why we have to keep fighting. And I think, Congressional Black Caucus and everybody who continues not to let Breonna be, just forgotten about, because that's still horrific. Our Black women can't even be safe in the sanctity of their own home.
Yeah. So this week we find out that you had successfully, you stood there with Miss Kimberly Butler, the wife of Reverend Lewis Butler. You won a $779 million judgment verdict for this family. Tell us a little bit about that, Attorney Crump.
Yes, sir. And I'm at an airport, about to be at an airport, so let me talk fast. What makes this verdict so significant, Stacey, is the fact that it was a compensatory verdict. Compensatory mean the jury was returning a verdict for how to compensate for his life and the value of his life, and not a punitive verdict. Right. You only see numbers like this here when the judge allows punitive measures. That means your award should punish the company. And so that's what made this so very historical, because this thing a lot. I believe in fighting to raise the value of Black life. And normally in a compensatory case, not oftentimes do you see a case that goes above, 8 figures. Mm-hmm. And so to get to these numbers for a Black life is something astonishing. But this was a case where he was an extraordinary brother. I mean, he was a strong Black leader. He was a preacher in the community, assistant manager at Lowe's. He was looking out for us. He was a beautiful wife, taking care of his family, doing everything right. He had 3 jobs. He was also a licensed security guard. So they would take his company would have them go out and do protection of people. And one was this internet cafe that, unbeknownst to him, had been robbed on 2 prior occasions. But he's there doing what I think, not just professionally, but what God told him to do. And when he and the white cashier was leaving the internet cafe, which apparently is a front for these slot machines that are unregulated by the state, they walking out the front door around 11:30 at night, and these 2 robbers, as he lets her out first, he's locking the door, and you can see on the video they come around the corner. He jumps and pulls his gun and pushes her back, and he takes all the bullets. They do shoot her in her foot and her ankle, but he shot 8 times on that video. Wow. And it's just a shame before God. And we kept arguing that this was so preventable if that internet cafe would have reported the previous robberies. But they didn't want to do that because they knew they were making, having illegal gambling going on, which was making them a lot of money. They would only take in cash. And that's why they were a target for the robbers.
Wow. That is incredible. Neil?
Oh, well, I mean, congratulations on that. I know you say you're headed to the airport. We don't have much time. But I want to talk about what's happening in Florida. That's your state, Florida.
My mom still lives there. I've recently moved, but I know enough about it. Yes,
right. Yeah. You went to Florida A&M, right?
I went to Florida State. My wife went to Florida A&M, and we give our money to FAMU. HBCUs.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. So DeSantis this week declared a Muslim rights group a terrorist organization, civil rights organization is now on a terrorist list, and we know that white men are number one terrorists in the United States.
Exactly.
But I want to ask you, should Black civil rights organizations be highly concerned about this? And do you think that they're on the list as well?
We should be very highly concerned, Ms. Anderson. I mean, extremely concerned, because I wrote a book called Open Season, The Legalized Genocide of Colored People. And this has never been more illustrated than in this regime, whether it's Trump, whether it's DeSantis in Florida, whether it's Abbott in Texas, so on and so forth. I mean, they are every day trying to put forth their white supremacist beliefs. And so what I say is that just like they believe in their white supremacist beliefs and they're unapologetic about it, we must be unapologetic defenders of Black life, Black liberty, and Black culture. And we have to be forward thinking. And so our civil rights organizations gotta know, just like all of us gotta know, we're on the list. We're in the crosshairs. And I'll say this in conclusion. My good friend and mentor, Billy Murphy, 85 years young, he said, you know, Attorney Crump, every time I see you on TV, brother, I get so proud. He said, because I know no matter what the case or what the issue is, you're going to speak truth to power. And he said, you see, Attorney Crump, we got enough intelligent Negroes in America today. He said, we got enough articulate Negroes in America today. He said, what we seem to lack is enough Negroes who got courage to speak truth to power for our people. And so the civil rights organizations, we got to start speaking truth to power, and we got to be unapologetic and, most importantly, unafraid, because that's what a bully wants you to do, to be afraid of him. But the more you stand up, the more you see his true colors start to be revealed. That they don't want to fight people on an equal basis. They only want to go after weak people, people who can't defend themselves. Well, they ain't got that when they come to strong Black people who got the DNA of Harriet Tubman and Frederick through their body. Ida B. Wells, Stacey, that's what we gotta, Miss Anderson, we gotta make sure our people know that we come from a people who have overcome far worse than this. There was a Black lady who, when this regime, this administration started, she said, when you get a chance, Attorney Crump says, you have influence and you give speeches to our Black people, you let them know that we done been through way too many thunderstorms to be worried about a few raindrops coming from this Trump administration.
Wow.
We gonna be all right.
I know we gotta let you go, but we gotta have you back when you have more time. But real quick, just a couple of quick ones from our audience. Orange G is asking, he's asking, have you had an opportunity to talk to Daniel Cameron, the coward who wouldn't file charges in the Breonna Taylor incident? And Mike V says, should Black organizations and elected officials also classify right-wing groups as extremists and post advisories about them?
Well, you know what? I haven't talked to Daniel Cameron. You know, he like many on that regime, they blame people like me and NMPA and others as being the problems when clearly they are the problems. Number two, we should absolutely start our own narratives. Don't let them create the narrative. And that's why the National Newspaper Publishers Association is so vital now, more than ever. And I will tell your audience member this, that, you know, the Black Panthers was started to fight the violence against our people by the KKK. The federal government and FBI came in and they destroyed the Black Panthers. But yet they've never, ever prosecuted the KKK members. They have not even identified them as a terrorist group. They identified them as a Christian nonprofit organization. And you can check those facts. So that tells me all you need to know about this government determining who are terrorists and who are not terrorists.
Wow. Well,
That's right.
Attorney Crump, we certainly appreciate you. And he does, from what we can see, folks, Attorney Crump puts his force behind these Black Lives issues, and his money where his mouth is. He is one of the few supporters of the Black press, both financially and, of course, otherwise.
Thank you, Stacey. Thank you, Miss Anderson. God bless.
Happy holidays. Happy
You
holidays.
all too.
Thank you. All right, there you have it. Yeah, the KKK's been around since 1865. Nonprofit organization, still has its status. And they're also the number one terrorist threat to this nation at the same time. So go figure that. In more headlines, federal jobs are turning partisan. A new directive for health and human services are demanding loyalty from tens of thousands of federal workers. Now, what's being added to their annual performance reviews include an element called faithful support of the administration and the presidency's policy. We saw this happen with our college and institutions with that compact, to where they would have an annual review as to their allegiance to this Trump Klan administration. And so now you see it being imposed also in federal jobs. So when we talk about Project 2025 and 2.0 2026, this is what's happening. And we know that federal workers are mostly Black people.
Yep.
We dominate those jobs. And
Yep.
so now they're telling us that we should have allegiance to the KKK. Pretty much.
Well, this is what you get when you get white supremacists taking over.
You know, so that's what's happening with that. We touched on the Olympics and the World Cup and this new travel ban that the Trump Klan is trying to impose. And so when we see all of these things happening and talking to Attorney Ben Crump and him talking about us recycling our Black dollars, you know what I'm saying? And even, speaking, even though they're in control, I say it all the time too, it has to be documented. So we talked about the articles of impeachment. It might not go anywhere, but guess what? It's on record. Right. And so those are the things that we have to do. And I even like what Mike V said, Stacey, about us creating these narratives and putting these people on blast. Like they could say the Muslim, are a terrorist group. Well, we can say that they are too.
Yeah. Well, the NAACP a few years ago, a couple of years ago, whatever it was, created that travel advisory, right?
Right.
And put Florida on the travel advisory. So he's right. Mike V is absolutely right.
We definitely should keep that up. Good conversation from civil rights attorney Ben Crump. But let's lighten things up a little bit.
Lighten it up.
So headlines hit yesterday morning about next year's Met Gala, and guess who is the co-chair? Okay. So Beyonce was the headline. Of course, you had Nicole Kidman and Venus Williams and Beyonce all as co-chairs, but the headline was Beyonce returns 10 years after her last appearance
after the slap.
Infamous elevator episode between Jay-Z and Solange. So this is going to bring a lot of energy to the Met Gala, not just because of what she's wearing, but who's going to all pull up. You know what I'm saying? It looks like Solange and Jay-Z have mended their discord.
Every time I see Jay-Z, I always look close at his face to see if Solange's hand is still there.
Him and Blue Ivy were at the Laker game last night. That was trending as well. And so, and he looked totally different from that picture that 50 Cent posted.
Oh God.
he actually
was gonna hate.
Good. Beyonce sent her husband out there like, go polish, take Blue Ivy, she'll make you look even better. And take that 50 Cent. But back to Beyonce, she is headed back to the Met Gala, so she's gonna add all the spice and all the things that we want to see.
Just stay away from elevators. That's all. Keep them out of the elevator.
No, it's not the elevators. It's not the elevators. Stay out of women's faces, Jay-Z, and you won't have that problem. Okay, it wasn't the elevator. It was his behavior before they got into the elevator that caused that nonsense.
Okay, how about this? If you're gonna misbehave, Jay-Z, don't get in the elevator with Solange.
Yes, Michelle, it's been 10 years. It's been 10 years. And I love it. I love how Beyonce, when she decides to go back, she's going back as the co-chair. Okay. She's just not walking the carpet. She's going back with the title. And that's how you do it.
RG said Beyonce is getting thicker than cold grits. Her Formula One outfit almost broke the internet.
Hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
So Beyonce returns. So we'll be paying attention to that. And then of course we'll see who else hits the red carpet. But in more news, as we begin to wrap up and end up the year, there's some headlines coming out. I know Asia Wilson was named Times 100 Athlete of the Year. So congratulations to her. Then you have Kendrick Lamar has been crowned as the #1 rapper of the year by Billboard. And then Shador Sanders, our darling of the NFL.
You're a darling of the NFL.
Well, no, he is the darling because he is the most Googled. He's the most Googled athlete in 2025. So I'm not the only one that feels that way. Name another player. It ain't LeBron. You know what I'm saying? It's nobody from the Knicks. Nobody from the Washington Commanders. It's that boy right there.
Oh gosh, I love getting Yale going with because she loves talking about Shador, so I love getting her going.
Because we could. He's a black man that is well spoken, and we were just talking about Colin Kaepernick and the way that he was treated. Look at how they treated Shador, and he just held his head down, 5th round pick, and now what is he doing? He's starting. Look at God.
He should have been. He should have been starting from snap one anyway. So, but
all of us believe that. All of us believe.
Well, it proved to be. Look at their other quarterbacks are 100% garbage.
And what they didn't realize is it made his story grander. If they just would have started him, it would have been no big deal. He just would have been in the game. But now he is the talking point because of the way that he was treated.
So here we go. RG says he will catch a cold L this Sunday because the Bears will beat the Browns, and the Bears also have a black quarterback. Black on black.
I loved it. Let's go. I'll be watching that game. See, I didn't even know. I don't even watch football like that. I haven't even really been into football since Kaepernick. But see, now I'm gonna watch the Bears and the Browns game. Thanks for that, Orange.
All right. Well, is that all you got this morning? That's enough, right? Let's get some Black history facts on this date in 1961, folks. Langston Hughes' musical play Black Nativity opened on Broadway at New York's Lincoln Theater. It was one of the first plays written by an African-American writer to be performed at the Lincoln Theater. So some history on the, as they call it, the Great White Way in 1961.
And it's Christmas, the Black Nativity, he spiced it up, I loved it. I love that. And then a couple years later, in the year of 1964, the King of Soul, Sam Cooke, was fatally shot here in Los Angeles. Now his death still remains debatable to this day after he allegedly demanded entrance into his room at the Hacienda Motel. And he was staying there. And after a brief physical struggle, the manager fired 3 shots, which fatally killed Cooke. Now, of course, his legacy of hits include Change Is Gonna Come, You Send Me, and Chain Gang, which still endure. I mean, Change Is Gonna Come is still a song that you might hear at a Democratic pep rally. And when the preacher need a word, when something bad happens, a change is gonna come. And so it's legendary, but his death or his murder still remains debatable. A lot of people have a lot of thoughts about that situation, Stacey.
Yeah. Who was the two women in the picture there in the newspaper with him?
Well, one was the woman that he was with, and the other one was the manager at the time of the
Okay.
hotel, of a
Ooh.
motel, you know. And so they
Yeah.
said that the motel prostitutes hung out there. Then it says the woman that he was with was suspect because she was later put in jail or prison. So there's just a lot of things surrounding that situation. But nevertheless, we lost an icon on this day in 1964, a music icon, so to say.
Yeah. Have they ever? Now I should know the answer to this. I don't remember, but have they ever done a Sam Cooke movie?
I'm not sure. But
Yeah,
I
'cause
think
this-
Sam Cooke, wasn't he in the wasn't he around when Aretha Franklin and her daddy was on the church circuit? Wasn't he? I thought yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. But he
Yeah,
definitely
I'm wondering. Yeah, I'm wondering if they haven't. Why haven't they? Because Sam Cooke was an absolute genius, number one. But then it's so scandalous surrounding his death. Everything was so scandalous. She says yes, they have done a documentary. It was good too. So I haven't seen it, Dr. Marilyn. So I have to check it out because that would be like. You would think Hollywood would be all over it. And Celeste Hart said the Womack brother connections. What's the Womack brothers connection?
not familiar with that one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not familiar either. Sam Cooke, by the way, was only 33 years old when he was killed. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. All those, we talk about scandals today. There was always scandals. The only thing we didn't have as much media attention. We certainly didn't have social media. So can you imagine stuff like that today?
The stories that are buried, okay?
The stories that are buried. Yep, exactly. Oh, wow. So I got to check that out, Dr. Marilyn. I was wondering about that. And you brought up, it's one of your Black history facts, Sam Cooke. So, wow. And y'all got to check us out again, too, tomorrow.
Tomorrow for sure. But for the latest in Black news and headlines, you know where to head over to. That's blackpressusa.com. And we have another Black legislator story dropping today from Rep. Bowser out of Texas, who she actually in her district is the hospital of the young lady that wasn't given maternal care. The viral moment of the young lady in the chair and the nurse just kind of ignoring her and not intaking her. Well, that hospital sits in Rep. Bowser's district. And she is continuing to advocate for better health care for Black women. And she is actually talking to the hospital about their protocols. And so just another important reason why Black representation matters in this country. So you can find that on our social handles and all of the Black news that is happening across Black America at blackpressusa.com.
Oh, you got to definitely check that out. The first one was riveting. And so let's check out this one too. All right. So we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Let it be known.